The search results for Bitcoin are at yearly lows. How do we get retail interested in Bitcoin again? Are the market makers preparing to make the prices cheaper? Or are they preparing a massive move towards $120,000 to trigger a fear of missing out? Let's analyze.
My crypto paradise.
Hello ladies and gentlemen from Paradise Club, this is Simon from My Crypto Paradise. Let's analyze Bitcoin. So what do we have here? Right here and right here you are seeing stacked buying imbalances, which suggests buying absorption. Together with that, somebody is defending the price from going further to the upside because somebody big positioned a huge sell wall right above us, a pretty thick one, ladies and gentlemen. Together with that, somebody is using this consolidation into some distribution because you can see order book suit is pretty bearish. We can see more sell limit orders being executed during this price action than buying orders, which suggests distribution, and usually it favors from for price starting to go to the downside. Together with that, if we take a look at the liquidation heat map, you can see some stacked stop losses right here at around $109,000, which is pretty far away from the current price. It is not neglectable, right? If we take a look what's going on the charts, ladies and gentlemen, on the CME futures, we can see that we are having a gap, right? If we start pumping towards $117,000, it will be closed. And you know, in 99% of cases, all of the CME futures gap get closed within the next 1 month, ladies and gentlemen. Is this going to be an exception? What's gonna happen next? Let's analyze, ladies and gentlemen. We will go through weekly, we will go through daily, 4 hour, and maybe even 1 hour time frame. So on the weekly time frame, ladies and gentlemen, we can see the formation ABC zigzag. You know that I have been informing you that we have touched the bullish moving average trend line that is basically holding us in this uptrend, and together with that we are finishing AB, the B wave, right? The B wave been forming a zigzag. As you know, that is the special Elliott wave pattern, most common one, ABC, ladies and gentlemen, where the A wave and C wave are motive mode waves. That means that we have been able to understand this C wave also together with analyzing these two shooting star candlestick patterns. We have been analyzing that with the highest probability this C wave from the ABC zigzag pattern was with the highest probability finished. So what's going on right now, ladies and gentlemen? We have also broken downside this channel, right? And I have told you we are trying to get this bullish retest before continuation lower. Right now the weekly time frame is not bullish at all. This moving average trend line is bullish, it's working as a demand, right? But take a look at this MACD histogram. We are having a bearish divergence. The price action is making higher high, the MACD histogram is making a lower high. Together with this bearish cross, the bearish divergence is pretty much confirmed. You can learn this on our website mycryptoparadise.com in our MCP free university, so you know how to trade these patterns and how much of probabilities points they are adding to you on this time frame right now. But overall, the weekly time frame is not bullish at all. So does it mean that right now I'm being aggressive bear at this point? Well, I'm not, because I don't think this bullish price action might be finished just yet. So first of all, we need to understand that weekly time frame should be your primary focus on some macro short positions that you will be using for position yourselves for the next target, a $90,000. The risk to reward ratio prefers shorts right now because you can place your stop loss very tight right above this double top formation, and your sell targets, your exit targets can be pretty far away. So from a professional trading perspective, weekly time frame should be considered for bearish setups, right? So right now also we are waiting for a nice confirmation of turning this previous support into a resistance. This patience will give us also a better entry, and we will be able to ride the wave to the downside if this is going to be holding as a resistance, right? Why we will be positioning ourselves also for short positions on the weekly time frame is because another bearish signal, which is that with the highest probability, if this ABC zigzag was finished, that means this B wave was finished, it means that we are starting from our expanded flat pattern formation a C wave, right? That will take us towards $44,000. However, it's not going to be a straight line like this. It's going to subdivide itself into 5 smaller waves because the C wave is a motive mode wave, and also the first wave is a motive mode wave. That means it's not going to be also a straight line. It's going to be 5 moves to the downside. In this video, I will explain to you why do I believe that right now we have finished already this first wave, and why with the highest probability right now we are starting the secondary wave, which might take us towards retesting the channel. Okay, so let's zoom right now on daily time frame. What can we see right here? First of all, you can see the subwaves of the ABC zigzag. We can remind ourselves the C wave 1 2 3 4 5. C wave is a motive mode wave, as I have already shown you, right? C wave is a motive mode wave. That means it subdivides itself either into an impulse or an ending diagonal. With the highest probability, it was an impulse 1 2 3 4 5. As you can see here, this is very good sign, ladies and gentlemen. The shooting star candlestick pattern is very good sign, as I've been sharing with you in the previous videos. Smash the like button and confirm that by the bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. This is your confirmation that after some consolidation, the resolution will be with the highest probability to the downside. Together with that, on the lower time frame, on the daily time frame, you can see that we have been also waiting for the reclaim of this channel, right? It's the same as this one, but it was just happening faster because this is daily time frame and this is a weekly time frame. And you remember that I've been sharing that with you in the previous videos. So we have got a breakout with a nice rising volume that basically suggests the bears are really in power, all right? Then we have got a retest of this ascending trend line out of that channel, and we have got the bearish reclaim on a low volume, right? And that basically gave us a great entry where we have been able to position ourselves with a great risk reward ratio, right? Stop loss and targets around this level, even lower, right? But this ascending trend line was working greatly as a support, ladies and gentlemen. After we have finished the fourth wave, we have started the fifth wave, a motive mode wave. As you remember, we have been subdividing this into 5 waves, and after we have crossed the daily candle below the previous low and also closed it and had this nice reclaim, this one, break and retest, bank, reclaim, right? We have concluded that the 5 moves to the upside are finished, the C wave is done, and we are right now starting the motive mode wave to the downside. That will take us probably towards $90,000, something like that. I will be targeting basically this right here, which is nicely history structure, previous resistance. Now it's going to be working as a support around $88, $90, $92,000. It also depends when the first motive mode wave pattern is going to be finished. However, first of all, we need to wait that this will be working as a resistance, right? That's important. Together with that, it seems like the first wave was already finished. We have been working with this 1.61 Fibonacci retracement level, which worked nicely as a support. And right now we are starting the secondary corrective mode wave. As you can see from the daily price action structure and analysis, there are loads of resistances that support the retest of the weekly time frame channel, right? So for example, this VPVR, we are having, however, loads of resistances above us. That means long positions on daily time frame are not really favorable. So we are waiting for short setups. For confirmation for a short setup, few things we will be looking at with the ParadiseTeam. So first of all, we will be looking at completion of the secondary wave. As you know, the secondary wave is a corrective mode wave, right? This one is a corrective mode wave, corrective, right? And by the way, this impulse works the same way to the downside like to the upside, all right? The structure is the same. So we are waiting for one of these patterns to be completed, all right? Because the secondary wave, it's usually a zigzag, it's a deep correction, but it can also be a double zigzag, it can be a double three, it can be a flat. Very rarely it's a triangle, all right? So that gives you some kind of pre-assumption what to look for, but we will be definitely be looking at completion one of these corrective mode waves. Together with that, we'll be waiting for a bearish divergence that will be confirmed, right? Right now, so far we are creating a higher high on the momentum. On the histogram MACD, we can see that the bulls are getting momentum. The price action is so far creating lower high, right? But it's not confirmed yet. We are waiting also for the bearish cross. Right now, on the other hand, we are playing still this bullish divergence that I've been sharing with you in the previous previous videos, ladies and gentlemen, where the price made lower low, right? And the oscillator, in our case MACD, made higher low, right? That means the bearish momentum been decreasing, and because of that the bulls been able to take over. After this bullish cross, that was basically confirmed. So right now we are waiting for something in opposite side. Upon like testing one of these resistance levels, we will be waiting for a proper confirmation. For a bearish divergence on RSI indicator, we will be waiting for as well. It will basically increase probability points. Right now we don't have it, right? You can see the RSI is so far not being overbought at all. We are in the middle, and the stochastic RSI is still having open two legs. We are in an overbought area, but you can see that we can basically stay there for a while, as we have done in August. So let's take a look right now what's going on the medium time frame. By the way, let's also take a look at the volume. Right here we can see rise in volume with the rise in price action. That seems fine so far. So together with all of the other things that we are looking at with the Paradise team, we are monitoring the whales, how the whales are positioning ourselves, when they get aggressive, when they are just hedging, when they are being defensive. Basically we are doing the same thing as the market makers and the whales, right? So we are trying to ride the waves with the whales, basically, because if you are trying to go against the whales, it's usually not long-term profitable, right? So some hedging short positions, as long in altcoins. Right now we are working with lots of altcoins with ParadiseFamilyVIPs, hedging that with lower or slower moving assets like Bitcoin. That's usually the best strategy at this moment right now, when we are starting approaching some lower resistances, not that strong ones, but once we start getting to aggressive resistances, which will be, for example, this zone made out of 618 and 786 Fibonacci retracement levels that I have taken from analyzing this wave right here at around that $121,000, we will be looking for some aggressive short setup. Together with that, if we will see that the whales are getting aggressive as well, and we are completing some corrective mode wave pattern, that's going to basically tell us, all right, we can go pretty aggressive, and we will be working on positioning ourselves for this third wave. Then we will be having the fourth and fifth one, which with the highest probability will take us towards this level right here. So let's take a look what's going on right now on the 4-hour time frame. Right here you can see that we are waiting for these resistance levels to be hit. From 4-hour time frame perspective, these are very important. The demand zone is so far working nicely. Here it seems like we have finished the first motive mode wave, which subdivides itself into 5 smaller waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This might have been an ending diagonal, but after we have crossed above this triple top formation, it also basically decided that the Elliott wave count already from the motive mode wave first wave perspective was finished right here, and we are starting the corrective mode secondary wave. All right, so we have been waiting for reclaiming these 3 actually tops, right? And I will be sharing with you in a minute that it already happened. So right now this working nicely as a demand zone on a 4-hour time frame. Again, I'm waiting for this resistance to be touching. We are definitely waiting for some short setups. All right here VPVR very powerful at $118,000. As you can see on the MACD histogram, we so far don't have any bearish divergence. Together with that, on the RSI indicator, we are having some exaggerated bearish divergence. It's nothing strong. And on the stochastic RSI, we are still well in the buying pressure zone. All right, so let's take a look right now what's going on the 1-hour time frame. Here might be some great buying opportunity, because one of the reasons is that we are reclaiming. Here you can see the triple top that I have been sharing with you in the previous video, right? And right now you can see that we are trying to get a nice reclaim. This seems to be already a double bottom formation. It might work like a nice demand zone, pretty solid structure. So if you are looking for long position setups, you can place your stop loss quite tight to your entry price upon confirmations, and targeting about $121,000. Basically this resistance is probably not a bad idea upon confirmations, so obviously, and it depends on your trading strategy, but this might be a high probability trading setup. If we take a look right now what's going on with the volume during this consolidation, we are basically having low volume, which is usually good for continuation in the same trend, in the same direction. That means to the upside. If we take a look at the subwaves of the first motive mode wave, the higher degree motive mode wave, I'll repeat it for you one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's working. This could have been an ending diagonal, but take a look at this. 1, 2, 3, which is not the shortest one. 4, corrective mode wave pattern, finished at almost at the top of the first wave, and then 5th wave, right here. It's working. And right now we are creating a corrective mode wave pattern. So this is the higher degree first wave, and secondary wave will finish with the highest probability right here, which are the important Fibonacci retracement levels. Is the previous structure which worked as a resistance, then for a little bit as a support, and then again as a resistance right here. So you can see this zone right here is historic structural resistance, ladies and gentlemen. That should be working again. It will work together with it will basically confluence with the retest of this channel and all of these confluences that I have been speaking about, right? So on the 1 hour time frame, there might be some nice bullish setup forming. Obviously, the more confirmations you get, the more aggressive you can get. We don't have a bullish divergence on the MACD. We don't have a bullish divergence on RSI. You can see that we are in an overbought area, which suggests some kind of correction. If you take a look at the stochastic RSI, the bulls right now are not in a power, right? And it's basically suggests that even though we are right now reclaiming the support, it seems like we will need to have a prolonged consolidation to shake out more bears before continuation to the upside, or we will need to have first some kind of a bearish momentum to grab some fuel. But so far what we are looking at is some bullish setup after some confirmations, right? And once we confirm a finish of some corrective mode wave, the secondary wave, and we will confluence that with touching the resistance, right, etc. We are basically monitoring once the corrective mode wave pattern is going to be finished, and then we will be positioning ourselves with Paradise Family VIPs into some aggressive short position, right? Aggressive mean high leverage, multiple positions, basically based on our trading strategy and tactics that we are using inside of our Paradise Family VIP memberships. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, if we take a look also on the fear and greed index, we can see that we have just touched the magical point 80, right? And you know, the 80 usually works as a topping signal, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm definitely looking to get out of the greed mode to the fear mode, ladies and gentlemen, which the 20 point is really working very nicely as a bottom signal. You can watch this on our website marketproparadise.com. So once we are at that 20 points on multiple time frames, right, on multiple time frames, it will again increase the probabilities for some nice long setups. So far it's not favoring long setups from the fear and greed index perspective. It's actually kinda bearish, because the more retail on the 4 hour time frame is already in, there's probably nobody else already to keep on buying, right? So what the market makers are gonna do, they will push the sell button, right? So maybe that's why they are defending the price from going further. So upon confirmations, a nice bearish setup might be forming, ladies and gentlemen, and we might be even touching the previous low. But it all depends on how the corrective mode wave is going to be unfolding, and that's exactly what we are watching with Paradise Family VIPs. Right now, the rule of the thumb is that as long as we are holding above this demand zone, we might see a bullish price action. But to shake out the bears and the strength of the bears, we probably will need to have first some further consolidation, or if that's not gonna help, we need to push a little bit lower. Ladies and gentlemen, I will keep you updated again on Saturday. If you are getting some value from these videos and you are learning professional trading tactics and you are getting better at analysis with me, smash the like button. Of course you don't need to, but trade safe, trade with a professional trading strategy, trade with a nice system, focus on long-term profitability, all right? Take it easy and smooth, and I will see you again on Saturday. Cheers.